Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, Jay-Z Courtside, coming at y'all today on Monday, April 27. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I hope your basketball team won over the weekend. I've missed y'all so very much. We got a lot to cover. This is going to be probably the shortest intro we've ever done around here, all right? I'm not going to talk about all 11 games individually, but we will be talking about every single series today. We're going to do our best to try not to cross that hour mark because I got to be real with everybody watching. Most podcasts have 2, 3, even 4 people on that show. The fact that we have one guy, one guy who talks to themselves and talks to the crowd, and the fact that I do longer episodes than most of these guys with 3, 4, even 5 people with mics, that's impressive. But it's also sort of concerning that I can entertain myself for that long and just listen to my voice for that long. But if you guys enjoy these shows, doesn't matter. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. People in the TikTok, YouTube, be sure to drop some likes, follow, subscribe, all that bullshit. Excuse my French. This is a family-friendly channel. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Like I said, we're going to be breaking down everything that happened over the weekend as far as playoff series go, injuries go, how everything goes, all right? Before I start, I would like to say, hey, Duran! Hey, JD! If I caught you swiping on TikTok, bro, I'm talking to you. You better play like a man. You better play like the guy that, behind me, the poster that says Unbreakable, the magazine that says Unbreakable, the dog, remember that? The dog. You know this jersey I bought with your name that cost me $150? You better start playing like that. All right, let's get started. All right, so guys, today's episode, we're going to go ahead and we've categorized every single series in their own specific categories, okay? So up first, we're going to be talking about all the series that are now 3-1. Then we're going to be talking about all the series that are 2-2. Then 3-0, then 2-1, and then 3-0. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're in the Twitch stream, sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee or an energy drink, and enjoy the show. Let's get started talking about how the Celtics, Timberwolves, Spurs, and Lakers all take a 3-1 series lead. Now, not all of these series are the same. In fact, 2 of these 4 series are very different than the other 2. Okay, let's go ahead and start off real quick with the series that we expected to be 3-1 right now. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Beantown Boys, the Boston Celtics, winning 2 straight against the Philadelphia 76ers, cleaning their home floor, 128-96. And then obviously they won the game before that. Now, I would like to just say Jason Tatum was horrible in the first half, and then he absolutely locked in the second half. It was fun to watch. I think he had like close to 20 in the third quarter. He finished with 30 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds. He was 8 for 16 from the field. But honestly, the MVP of that game was Peyton Pritchard. 32 points off the bench. That's all they needed. If Peyton Pritchard is dropping 30 off the bench, just know you didn't even have to watch that game. You already know who won, who lost. If he's giving you 30 off the bench, there's just no chance that you could have won. Because Jaylen Brown's going to get his, Tatum's going to get his. Now, on the other side, Joel Embiid came back. And, well, Joel Embiid said it best. This is not a rivalry. They beat our ass every time. And Joel Embiid returned. And, well, this has been the ongoing issue. I don't have any Philadelphia 76ers fans in the crowd right now because they're all hiding after saying that we want Boston. But I'll go ahead and say what all 76ers fans are feeling because I watched the 76ers extensively all year and knew they would not last into the playoffs. The main reason is when you don't have your superstar, I'm putting quotes because he hasn't been one in a few years, but when you bring your superstar in once a week, once every 2 weeks, every other game, and you don't know he's going to play, your team doesn't know how they're going to play until they announce that Joel Embiid will not be playing tonight. And yesterday, when they announced that Joel Embiid will be playing tonight, everything gets changed. The entire team looks different. They look slower. They look softer. And Joel Embiid comes back. He gets 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 assists, but he was a minus 25 on the court. Second lowest plus minus on the entire team. He was 1 for 6 from three. If not for those 9 free throws he had, he'd be in the teens. Okay. So when we look at this and we see this team and their constant issues, this has been the pattern all season long. Is Joel Embiid playing tonight? Okay, cool. Let's play like this. Oh, is Joel Embiid not playing tonight? Oh, okay. Let's play like this. And that's been the ongoing issue for the 76ers all season long. Maxey got 14 shots up. They're never going to win a basketball game if Maxey's getting 14 shots up. That's why they got smoked. The biggest issue with the Philadelphia 76ers that has been all season, there's 2 of them. One is they were running Tyrese Maxey into the ground. Tyrese Maxey just played the most minutes by any player since Monte Ellis in 2011. I got to reiterate that one more time. Tyrese Maxey missed 2 to 3 weeks with that wrist injury or whatever it was. And he still played the most minutes by any player in 15 years. You guys need to hear that. You guys need to let that sink in if you're a Sixers fan. He's tired. He's exhausted. He's drained. And then Joel Embiid comes in and slows the entire game down. The 76ers were running. They were sprinting. They were playing so fast. And all of a sudden, Embiid comes in, slows the game down, and he didn't look like himself in the first half, and it just wasn't enough defense. It wasn't enough defense at all. And this has been the ongoing issue with this team. Now, we could dumb it down to one statistic, and that's why basketball is fun. You know, because at the end of the day, basketball is all about scoring more points than the other team. Do you guys know how many threes Boston hit last night? Joe Mazzulla called Adam Silver and said, turn it on. And that's what he did last night. They turned it on. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, they turned the magnetic chip in the basketball on last night because the Boston Celtics hit 24 threes last night. I want to assign a task to one of my Beantown boys in the crowd. Can you guys find me one game where the Boston Celtics made 23s and lost? Can somebody find me that? My assumption will be maybe in the playoffs last year when they attempted 63s against the Knicks and lost that game. How many threes did they hit out of those 60? They attempted 53 threes last night and shot 45% from deep. They made 24 threes last night. If you think you have any chance against the Boston Celtics when they hit 24 threes, you are sorely mistaken. It will never happen. It will never happen unless they attempted 70 to get to those 24. And even then, the other team's not hitting 24. So I could sit here and start blaming Joel Embiid. I could sit here and blame Tyrese Maxey for not being aggressive. I could sit here and blame Nick Nurse. But that is just not what a good basketball analyst would do. The Boston Celtics were running. The Boston Celtics were gunning from three. Peyton Pritchard dropping 32 off the bench. Real candidate for stud of the night tonight. I don't know what more you could expect to do this like in a night like this. I don't think you can find me a game where Boston hits 20 plus threes and they lose unless they attempted 60, which even then is still 30%, which would then be exactly the same amount of threes percentage-wise that the Philadelphia 76ers hit. So it wouldn't matter anyways. Yeah, they're up 3-1. Honestly, Philly could steal game 5. They could, but I think the series is over. Let's talk about another series that I believe is over. This is, you know what? Let me not do that right now. Let me not talk about a series that it could be over right now. Let's go ahead and talk about the Spurs. Actually, yeah, the Spurs Trailblazers. This is over. Tiago Splitter's getting outcoached right now. He's getting outcoached. The San Antonio Spurs were down by, I believe, 18 points this game. And I think they were down 17 in game 3 as well. And the Spurs came back. The Spurs came back in both of those games. It really sucks for Blazers fans because they were in it. They had the game. They were up by 19. Thank you, TikTok. they had the game, and they had both the games, and then they just collapse. They start settling for too many threes, and as we all know, the Portland Trailblazers are not a good three-point shooting team. They had no scoring. They had no help. Toumani Camara, worthless. Donovan Clingan, worthless. I have to share this tweet with all of you. Scoot Henderson was incredible for, the first couple games, and I saw this tweet, and I just had to like it. Scoot Henderson in game 4, 0 points, 0 for 7 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3, 27 minutes. Poot Henderson is back. I'm not typically a fan of AI, but anything poop related, it's got an automatic like for me. Anything poop related, it's got a like for me. There's no way I can't not like a tweet with an NBA player pooping from their shorts. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm 28 years old, but this is my sense of humor. All right. They lost. And this series is pretty much wraps. I think it's over. The Spurs are just too good. The Drew Holiday guarding Wembanyama shtick worked for the first half. It didn't work in the second half at all. This team is just too deep. And here's the thing, and this is something that a lot of people really aren't talking about as much as they should. The players of the San Antonio Spurs have the easiest job in the entire NBA. They have the easiest job in the entire NBA. Can you name me a more easy job than the San Antonio Spurs other guys? Can you? All you have to do is hit an open shot. That's it. Like, that is your job as a San Antonio Spur role player. If you can just hit your shot, that's all that matters. Because the amount of gravity that Victor Wembanyama demands, every single shot that they were taking was wide open. Not one, not two, not three. Every single shot was wide open. That's all you have to do. And to see somebody in the TikTok say, this guy does not need to be talking about ball. Brother, you have an Aiden Ross profile picture. I would cool it down over there, all right? Who's your banner? Andrew Tate? Let's continue talking about basketball, because I do what I talk about what I know best, and that's basketball. So guys, if you are in the TikTok and you are enjoying my breakdown of these games over the weekend, be sure to leave Mr. Aiden Ross over there in the TikTok and come through to my community in the Twitch stream, where we talk about basketball, we talk about the NBA, we talk about every single game that happens throughout the week as well as weekends. We just started the show. We're only talking about our second game right now. We just talked about 76ers Celtics. Now we're talking about Spurs Trailblazers, starting with a series like the worst series right now that are 3-1, and we're moving on through all of them that happened over the weekend. All right. So if you guys are enjoying the show, Jay, I appreciate the follow on TikTok, but I would appreciate it so much more over here in the Twitch stream, like my homie Duggar. Duggar, thank you so much for the big follow on Twitch. Remember, guys, if you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will personally gift you a $5 subscription if you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row. Simple as that. So be sure to come through. The link is in my bio. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Big Doug, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. So yeah, this series is pretty much wraps to me. You guys just got to watch this, because basketball has never looked more simple. You know what I'm saying? Basketball has never looked more simple. I wasn't old enough to watch Prime Shaq, but from what I've seen, this is pretty much what Prime Shaq was like. I'm not calling Wemby as strong as Shaq. I'm not calling Wemby as good in the paint as Shaq was. But what I am saying is, give the ball to the big man and just make sure you hit an open shot. That's it. That's how simple the basketball is for the Spurs. And last night, De'Aaron Fox was hitting his shots. He had 28 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 11 for 17 from the field, and 4 for 8 from deep. If you could just hit your open shots, let Wemby hold the ball, let everybody just collapse on Wemby, it makes no sense if you can't figure out their game plan. They give the ball to Wemby at the top of the key, and then everybody collapses, and then Vassell, Champagnie, Fox, Castle, everybody's got an open shot. It's not about guarding Wemby. It's about not guarding Wemby. Because Wemby's, at the end of the day, guys, Wemby's not going to score 90 points in a game right now. He can, but he's not. He doesn't have the stamina to continually back down into the basket, drive to the basket. He does not even have the stamina to just attempt jump shots. The key to beating the Spurs is dare anybody else to beat us. Do not double Wemby. Just let Wemby do what Wemby does and pray to God Champagnie can't shoot tonight. That's it. Easier said than done. I wouldn't be able to even pretend. I wouldn't even be able to pretend to guard Wemby. And at the end of the day, I always talked about the most fun thing for me is to look at the shot chart for the opposing teams when you're playing against the Spurs. I want you to look at this real quick. All right. Shout out to Antisocial and Doug for joining the Twitch stream. Guys, be sure to join the Discord as well. It's a much better experience over here. So I appreciate everybody leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. This is my favorite part about watching Spurs games, okay? Is looking at the shot chart. I'm going to zoom in just so I can show everybody. Now, unfortunately, the TikTok you guys can't see because the screen is too little, but I want you guys to look at it here in the Twitch stream, okay? Look at the shot chart difference for the Blazers and the Spurs. The Spurs have 4 mid-range shots. The Blazers have 4, 5, and a bunch of threes. Okay? If you look at this quarter by quarter, you can see how many shots the Spurs are getting in the paint and how many shots the Blazers are, bro. You can count them on one hand. And you can look back and see, was Wemby in the game during this? Because these shots, I watched it. Everybody in the paint, these shots were taken after Wemby was out. These shots were taken after Wemby was out. You can see what shots were taken when Wemby was in and which shots were taken when Wemby was out. This shot was when Wemby was in. This shot was when Wemby was in. This shot was when Wemby was in. And that shot was when Wemby was in. And that's what's so interesting about what he can do defensively. Because him just standing there is more than enough. Is more than enough. He doesn't need to jump. He doesn't need to do anything. All he needs to do is put his arm up. And that's pretty much their defense. That's pretty much it. That's it. All right, guys. I think the series is over. I think the Blazers could take one more game, but I don't think it changes the final result. Let's go ahead and talk about the final two series that are 3-1 and why they're so different. First and foremost, let's start with the Lakers and Rockets because they play tonight, okay? Now, I would like to say this in front of everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, this is for when you guys, this is for you. This is not for me. This is for you. This is for you. If the Lakers win tomorrow, I guess they play tomorrow. Sorry, not tonight. If the Lakers win tomorrow, they would win 4-1. They would have won the first 3 games, lost game 4, and won game 5. That, by definition, is called a gentleman sweep. I'm sick and tired of hearing people say, oh, that was a gentleman sweep, but it wasn't. A gentleman sweep is winning the first 3 games, losing the 4th game because you want the opposing crowd to cheer about something, and then coming back home and winning game 5. That is a gentleman sweep. Not all 4-1 series are gentleman sweeps, guys. I'm sick of hearing people misgender the gentleman sweep. Gentleman sweep is when you win the first 3 games, lose game 4 so that their crowd can cheer about something, and then win in game 5. That is a gentleman sweep. So the Lakers have an opportunity at gentleman sweeping them tomorrow night. I think it's tomorrow night. And honestly, I don't have a whole lot to say. If you guys watch this game, the Lakers just, I don't know how do I say this? They weren't ready. They didn't want to play basketball last night. I don't have another thing I could say. They didn't look like they wanted to play basketball last night. Like at all. DeAndre Ayton did his thing. DeAndre Ayton also gave us an iconic GIF, however you want to call it. I was cracking up when I saw this yesterday. The ball was just rolling and rolling and rolling. And DeAndre Ayton's goofy. Like, they just didn't look like they wanted to play basketball last night. This is arguably one of the funniest. This camera never gives us anything good. Can everybody agree? This camera never gives us anything good. And yet, finally, we've seen something good, and it's DeAndre Ayton watching a toilet bowl ball go in. Yeah, I thought that was funny. But, yeah, I mean, the Lakers just didn't want to play basketball last night. The Rockets did it by committee. Finally. The Rockets finally did it by committee. And they did their thing last night, man. They did their thing. They played defense, and they won. So, I don't see the Rockets winning this series. Could I see them winning the next game? Yeah, I could. But I could also see them coming out and getting smoked by 30. It's one or the other, man. It's one or the other. I could see the Rockets winning another, but I mean, the Lakers, I hear Austin Reeves is, they're not going to bring back Austin Reeves or Luka Doncic in this series. They're just going to try to finish the series without them. But yeah, I mean, I think if there's any team in the playoffs right now to choke a 3-1 deficit, I guess it'd be two of them, the Magic and the Lakers. So, and they were just ejecting everybody. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Kevin Durant was at the game, which is a good sign. Kevin Durant was at the game. The fact that I have to say that about the star player for the team that's losing is embarrassing, but he was at the game. Yeah, LeBron had a horrible night as well. He got his 10 points, but he was 2 for 9, 0 for 3 from 3. Like I said, nobody showed up to play basketball last night. Nobody showed up to play basketball last night except for the Rockets. So shout out to them. Let's talk about another series that I think is far from over, but it won't change my mind otherwise how this series ends. Let's talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves and Denver Nuggets. First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give my condolences to Dante DiVincenzo, who's been diagnosed with a torn right Achilles tendon. His season's over with a lengthy recovery. This gets even more depressing when you truly think about it. I've seen 1,000 tweets about the number 0 is cursed. I've seen a million tweets of it, so I don't want anybody to just come. I mean, you're going to say it now that I said it, but what's most depressing about this is the fact that Dante DiVincenzo will be a free agent next summer. He's pretty much, if he's not going to miss all next season, he's going to miss just enough to not award a sizable contract. This is depressing as shit. God, why did I give him so much credit last week just for this shit to happen, man? You guys remember I talked about Dante DiVincenzo for over 5 minutes last Friday. I talked about him extensively last Friday, and I was giving him nonstop praise, saying that he could start on 85% of the teams around the NBA right now. And Dante DiVincenzo tore his Achilles. It was in a minute into the game. He missed the 3. I'm not going to show it with respect to Dante. He missed the 3 and then he did a negative step to try to follow his miss, and it snapped. And you know what? He took it like a champ. I've watched Halliburton break down and cry. I've watched Tatum scream and cry. I've watched a lot of Achilles injuries, unfortunately, and I've never seen one as stand up as Dante DiVincenzo. He I don't know what his pain tolerance is. And I'm not going to show you guys the clip either because it truly, you can see his leg pop. Sorry about my dog right now. You can see his leg pop and it was not pretty. In fact, this is my saddest, I mean, this sucks. Twitch, you guys can see the full image right now. TikTok, you guys can't see it all, but this image sucks. This image sucks. And I don't know what Julius Randle's looking at, but it looks like he sees a ghost. Reiner, hey, can you please stop? Your father's recording. Please. Please. You've never done this. Don't do this now. Okay? Thank you. I'm not going to show the clip. There's no way. I'm not going to show the clip. But I really feel for Dante DiVincenzo, man. I've been giving him so much praise. He can genuinely start on almost every single team in the NBA. And this sucks ass, man. This sucks ass. Like, I am fully prepared to say Dante DiVincenzo was going to get what? What do you guys think? 100 mil? Am I crazy? I don't think I'm crazy by saying that. I think Dante DiVincenzo is a 5-year, $100 million player. 4-year, $100 million player. Not even 5-year. I think he's a 4-year, $100 million player. And I don't think that's crazy to say. He was just coming off of a 4-year, $40 million deal from the Knicks. Next year is his last year on his contract, but he's a free agent the next summer. And I would go without a doubt saying that as a starting shooting guard, he's a 4-year, $100 million player easily. Easily. Any team in the NBA would love to give Dante DiVincenzo $100 million. This shit is depressing, man. And then on top of that, it even gets worse. Anthony Edwards has sustained a bone bruise and hyperextension in his left knee and is expected to miss multiple weeks. So, obviously, this isn't even worse than Dante getting an Achilles injury, but this is even worse for the way that these playoffs are going now. As I said, the Timberwolves are up 3-1. They won that game, which will now forever be remembered as the Ayo Dosunmu game, because Ayo went ahead and dropped 43 points in 42 minutes off the bench. 13 for 17 from the field, 5 for 5 from 3, 12 for 12 from the line. He just had a 43-point game with a 96.5% shooting percentage, guys. This is the Ayo game. I need to repeat myself again. I don't know if this has ever happened in NBA history, so that's why somebody needs to please, like, if you can find me a better game dropping 43 points off the bench with a 96.5% true shooting percentage, I would be very impressed. Now, is Denver coming back? Probably. Yeah, they'll probably come back. Denver's down 3-1. But can we all agree? I'm not taking... are we taking the Denver Nuggets seriously anymore? Are we? Are we taking the Denver Nuggets seriously anymore? I don't know how you can. Jokic obviously lost his cool. This angle was incredible. I would like to say, if Isaiah Stewart did some shit like this, Isaiah Stewart's getting put in prison. In fact, let me reword that. If Isaiah Stewart did some shit like this, Isaiah Stewart would be underneath the prison. In case you don't know why this happened, Jaden McDaniels went and scored a bucket when the game was already over. And Nikola Jokic got very upset. He ran across the court to try to get Jaden McDaniels. Didn't see him run like that all game. But he decided to run at Jaden McDaniels for no apparent reason. Aaron Gordon left the bench. He's not getting suspended. So, yeah, this happened. And honestly, it's just an embarrassing look. It's just an embarrassing look. And to see, like, bro, why would you charge at him? And then he's flopping in this fight. I'm sure you guys just noticed, right? He's flopping. He is flopping while this is happening. He puts his arms down and he's flopping while this is happening. The Denver Nuggets have they have ruined so many of my predictions for this season, and I don't really want to talk about them anymore. But unfortunately, we're probably going to. We know that the Nuggets have a bottom 9 defense in the entire NBA. They have a bottom 9 defense in the entire NBA. Can the Minnesota Timberwolves choke this 3-1? Yeah, absolutely. Can they get a big enough game from their bench guys, from Julius Randle, to just maybe get out of this round? Maybe. But without Anthony Edwards, without Dante DiVincenzo, how far can they go? How far can they go? I don't know. I don't know, man. I have no idea. Yeah. The Nuggets defense sucks, and they're wondering why they're getting smacked. Debbie, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate you very, very much. Debbie, everybody, be sure, if you are enjoying the TikTok stream, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. That's JZ Uncut on Twitch. If you guys watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will personally gift you a $5 subscription. So be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. That's JZ Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio, guys. It's a much better viewing experience over here. You can see the full screen, talk with my community, and hang out with me and get all of your messages read by me. All right, guys, that's all our series that are 3-1 right now. And like I said, they're all different from each other. Other than the Celtics and Spurs series, they're all different from each other. Like the Lakers, that's going to be a pure and utter, it could be a gentleman's sweep, but I could see the Rockets also taking another game. The Nuggets, they could come back because they just lost 2 of their best players in the Timberwolves. So all the series are very different, and that's why it's very interesting. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to our 2 series that are now 2-2, and both of them are very different yet again. Let's start with the Knicks and Hawks. I don't have much to say about the last game. The Knicks took care of business. Who would have thought by giving it to Karl-Anthony Towns, you'd win basketball games? Cat is the best player on the floor. He should be treated as such. They got bench production, which is huge. McBride had 11. Jordan Clarkson had 7. Mitch had 6 and 8. Jose Alvarado had 6. Landry Shamet had 3. Tyler Kolek had 2. They had bench production. That's all that matters. The Hawks, well, I hate to say it, Jalen Johnson, you have been horrible in your first playoff appearance, so I'm not going to be mad at you. You've been bad. It's your first ever playoff experience. I won't be mad at you. Nikhil, he's been bad. He's been bad. There's no other way to put it. He's been bad all series. Dyson Daniels, he's doing his thing. CJ McCollum, they weren't allowing him to get the shots that he normally gets. He was only 8 for 15 with 17 points. Kuminga had one of those Kuminga games, 3 for 10. Gabe Vincent, 3 for 6, 10 points. They didn't really have much else bench production, and that's pretty much why they lost this game. Karl-Anthony Towns is the best player on this. Between both of these teams, Karl-Anthony Towns should be the best player. Karl-Anthony Towns should be getting more than 10 shots, but this game was over already. I have to repeat myself again because I feel like people are just not hearing me well enough. Karl-Anthony Towns, and I said this before the series started, so I need you guys, and I'll go back and clip it. I'll go back and show y'all. I said before this series starts, Karl-Anthony Towns is the best player on the court on both teams. He's the best player on the court. They have no answer for him. I said that before the series started. So when I see Cat not touching the ball in the second half, makes no sense. Somebody named Crypto in the TikTok said, he's not though, LOL. And that is why we don't really interact with the TikTok chat, because none of them know basketball. Darius, thank you so much. Shout out to you for leaving the TikTok and dropping a follow on the Twitch stream, homie. Welcome. If you just watched 3 Twitch streams in a row, I'll gift you a $5 subscription. Nobody has Cat. Nobody can guard Cat. And this is, of course, the reason why the Knicks are winning. They should be, honestly, sweeping this series. Cat doesn't want the ball. Mike Brown isn't setting up plays for Cat to get the ball. Jalen Brunson is busy dribbling for 30 seconds and not giving Cat the ball either. Real Knicks fans will know why I'm saying all of this. Real Knicks fans will know why. People in the TikTok saying, LOL, you don't watch the games? I watch the games with my community. And when I'm not watching with my community, I'm watching them with my fiance. So if you guys want to watch the games with me, we will be doing a watch party of the Detroit Pistons versus Orlando Magic tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on the cock in our Discord server. So if you guys want to do a watch party with me, talk with me on the mic, talk with my community on the mic, be sure to join the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. And then join our Discord server from the Twitch stream. We're doing a watch party tonight on the cock. We're doing a watch party tonight. Shout out Karl-Anthony Towns, man. This is great momentum for Cat. This is great momentum for Cat. He didn't have, like, nobody can guard him. Nobody can guard him in the series. Nobody can guard him in the series. Karl-Anthony Towns should be the number one. He should. He should be the number one. But obviously there's lots of egos on this. There's a lot of issues with this team. Yes, we're doing a watch party tonight. I said I wouldn't do a Pistons watch party, but we're doing it, Tev. Join up. I need all my Pistons fans in there. All right? Yeah, man. Cat can really dominate this entire series. Jay Noobs, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. We'll talk about it. Shout out to you for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch, Jay Noobs. Much love, bro. Be sure to join the Discord. We're doing a watch party tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. This series is not over. The Knicks won game 4, tied at 2-2. This series is not over. It's not over. The Knicks' biggest struggle all season has been their consistency. Can they continue to do it? Can they change their stride here? Can they win game 5? In my opinion, this is the most important game of the series so far. This is the most important game of the series so far. Game 5 is a swing game. It's a swing game because you got to win 2 out of the 3 final games. Can you do it? Can you do it? It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I believe the game is tonight. Is the game tonight? Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I think the game is the game tonight. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's tonight. Oh, it's tomorrow. Okay. Thank you. Good comms. Yeah, because the travel. That's right. All right, man. Yeah, that's what I got to say. So that series is 2-2, but the Knicks won game 4. Let's talk about the other series that's now 2-2. Let's talk about the other series, y'all. Let's talk about the other series. Somebody in the TikTok said, see, you don't know ball, in response to me not knowing whether or not the game was tonight or tomorrow. TikTok never changed, bro. Never changed, man. Never changed. Actually, the one thing y'all should change is you cool people come to the Twitch. Get away from all the moron fucks in the TikTok. Let's talk about the other series that's 2-2. That's the Cavs versus the Raptors. Unbelievable, man. I watched this game. Bro, this game was funny, man. This game was funny. This game was really, really funny. I saw a stat on Twitter yesterday that the Toronto Raptors, since the play-by-play era has started, they just won the very first playoff game with the worst field goal percentage of all time. They won this basketball game while shooting 32% from the field. Ladies and gentlemen, they hit 4 threes all game. They shot 4 for 30 from 3. I got to repeat myself. They shot 4 from 30 from 3. You know what won them this game? You know what won them this game? One word, baby. One word. It's not offense. It's the thing that they've been good at all season long. When Toronto is good at this, they're virtually unbeatable. And I've told everybody this all season long. And my boy Kai, who's a Raptors fan, in my Twitch stream, there he is. I told him, and I told everybody before this series started, I said, and I quote, when Toronto's defense is on, they look like the greatest team in the NBA. The issue with that estimation by me is that I didn't expect their offense to be the worst offense I've ever seen in my entire life in that same night. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that. Looking at their statistics, they had 8 blocks and 11 steals. That's 19 stocks, ladies and gentlemen. 19 stocks. Let's start with a guy that's being a leader right now. A leader. And I'm not talking about Scotty Barnes. I'm talking about Colin Murray Boyles. Kai told me, man, Jay-Z, if we had CMB against the Pistons, we probably would have won that game. And it was like a 25-point blowout. And I said, who gives an F about Colin Murray Boyles? Well, Colin Murray Boyles, in the final 15 games of the NBA season, as well as these playoff games, has proven to me that I should give an F about Colin Murray Boyles. What an incredible young player. What an incredible rookie year this kid is having. 15 points off the bench, 10 rebounds, and he's playing more minutes than Jakob Poeltl, who's getting paid 10 times more than him. Jakob Poeltl, I already talked about Jakob Poeltl. I don't need to talk about Jakob Poeltl. We all understand Jakob Poeltl, right? We all understand, right? You and me, right? You and me, we all understand. We all understand. Jacoby Walter, first and foremost, was pissing me the hell off this game. Pissing me the hell off. Bro, how are you 0 for 9 and you just keep shooting with that much confidence? I'm sorry. I know you shoot 40% from 3. Bro, you are 0 for 9. Stop shooting. Stop shooting. You're 0 for 9. Stop it. And he finally stopped because he got yanked. He got yanked and he finally stopped. Listen, man, the fact that this was Brandon Ingram's best game of the series is asinine. It's asinine. Now, I told you all after the game that the Toronto Raptors won, what did I say? Prove to me that you guys watch and listen to my podcast. When they won, I said, and I quote, the Raptors will never have a game like this again. But that doesn't mean they can't win more games this series. I said, you will never have another game that Jamison Battle will go 5 for 5 in the fourth quarter. I said, you will never have RJ Barrett and Scotty Barnes scoring 33 points in a game together. I said, you will never have Brandon Ingram getting single-digit scoring and you win that game again this series. And guess what? I was right. They won, but they didn't get that contribution that they had. Let me just go through this real quick. Brandon Ingram had 23 points, but he shot 6 for 23. June 23rd. RJ Barrett had 18 points, 8 rebounds. But he shot August 22nd. Scotty Barnes had 23 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. But he shot June 15th. Jakob Poeltl, I'm off you, bro. Jacoby Walter shot 0 for 9, 0 points, 27 minutes. Colin Murray Boyles, I'm not going to insult this. He shot 5 for 11. Jamal Shed shot January 6th. But he was a dog on defense. So at the end of the day, guys, I'm happy that the Raptors won this game. And if you were to guess, can anybody respond to me real quick? You got to be quick. Did you watch this game? You got to be quick. Did you watch this game? And for the first person that says no, did anybody not look at the box scores of this game now? Who did not look at the box scores of this game? I need a quick answer. Have you looked at the box scores of this game? Quick answer, Twitch chat. Okay, Dark, my question for you. You're a Cavs fan. My question for you. How many points do you think Evan Mobley scored last night? Real quick. In this Cavs loss, how many points do you think Evan Mobley scored? Because I haven't looked. I have not looked at their box score. Dark said 0. I'm going to guess 7. I'm going to guess 7. That's typically what happens when they lose. Not Brandon Ingram. Where was he? Evan Mobley, 8 points. He shot April 11th. He had 8 points. 8 points. He's doing his best Jalen Duren impression. Except, unfortunately for Evan Mobley, he's in his 5th year. Yo, Pistons fans are on the same spectrum right now. Ram, who's also a Pistons fan in my Twitch stream, said he's doing his Duren impression. Jared Allen had 3 points. Dean Wade had 7. That's normal. Donovan Mitchell had 20, and he shot June 24th. James Harden had 19, but he was June 14th. 6 for 14. Max Strus 0 for 5. This is what happens, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens. The Cleveland Cavaliers, yet again, just, if you watch this game, which I did not watch the first half, I will admit. I saw the halftime score, and I said, there's no way I got to watch this game because this is my kind of basketball. I love ugly hoops. I might be the only person in the world. I guess I'm a Pistons fan, so I've grown up with ugly hoops. I love ugly hoops, y'all. And I watched the entire second half of this game and watched back the first half as well. What I was watching was, how can I describe how Donovan Mitchell played? I know. Have you guys ever played basketball at LA Fitness before? As somebody who used to be a member of LA Fitness, the biggest thing about LA Fitness hoopers is that they will do tween, hezzy, cross, step back threes and complain when they're losing the game. And they'll blame everybody else. Well, last night, in the fourth quarter especially, Donovan Mitchell, and he hit some of the shots, to be fair. It was just hezzy, tween, step back three over and over and over again. And that's why they lost. That's why they lost. There was no ball movement. There was no care in the world at getting your big men open. Evan Mobley had one of those games where Evan Mobley doesn't care about basketball. Evan Mobley had one of those bad games. James Harden was having one of those bad games. And then I guess I got to talk about that one play in particular. Donovan Mitchell with the game on the line. Hezzy, tween, cross, step back, pump fake. Got somebody off the floor. I think it was Scotty Barnes. Scotty just stood up like this. So I think it was Scotty. Scotty just stood like this. And Donovan Mitchell went, yeah. Sorry if I hit my mic. And they lost. And I believe he made that same sound effect. I'm willing to believe that he made that same sound effect that I did. Threw himself into the chest of Scotty Barnes and lost the game. And boy, is that sweet. Boy, is that sweet. It was CMB. Thank you, TikTok. I appreciate y'all. I knew it was a light skin. I just forget which one. Sorry. And that's what happened. That's why I lost the game. And that series now is 2-2. And I think I'm tapped into the series, bro. I'm tapped in. Because if you're watching this, man, I love ugly hoops. Is anybody else an ugly hoops enjoyer? I'm a major ugly hoops enjoyer. I love ugly hoops. There's nothing more I love than a gritty, not even a dog fight, bro. This was not a dog fight. This was a rock fight. I'm talking, there were no dogs here. They were just throwing rocks at each other. That was it. And I love it. I love it. That's my kind of basketball game. And I feel like all the other old heads will feel that same way. I've talked too much about this 2BS series. Ladies and gentlemen, those are our 2-2 series. We're heading back to Cleveland. We'll see if Toronto can clean it up. Both the Knicks and Cavaliers will have home court in Game 5. So it should be interesting. Now, let's talk about our singular 2-1 series, y'all. Let's talk about our singular series that is 2-1 right now. And that is the Detroit Pistons versus the Orlando Magic. Game 4 tonight on the cock. On the cock tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Which, speaking of, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you want to watch this game with your boy, if you want to watch this game with me and the rest of my community, we will be doing a watch party. That's right. This might be the only watch party you guys ever get for a Pistons game with me tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Be there or be a loser, okay? I will probably never do another Pistons watch party for the rest of my days. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will be hosting a watch party of the Pistons versus Magic tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, all right? Be sure to join our Discord. TikTok, if you guys want to watch the game with me and watch the game with the rest of my community, be sure to join the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Once you join the Twitch stream, join the Discord, and you'll be able to watch. Now, the Pistons and Magic played a game over the weekend, and I don't have much to say about... I have a lot. I have a lot to say. But honestly, I don't want to bore y'all. I don't want to bore y'all. I do not want to bore y'all. So, I think it's in my best interest to play a voice memo that I sent immediately after the game. On Saturday, I believe. Yeah, Saturday afternoon. I believe my voice memo probably does the game the most justice, because it was immediately after the game. I wasn't that upset. I mean, obviously I was upset, but I feel like I summarized the loss perfectly well, and that's why I want to play a voice memo from after the game. Unfortunately for myself, I talk so much in my Discord server that I am struggling to find this voice memo right now. You guys are just gonna have to give me a quick second. But the fact that the biggest memes right now are about Jalen Duren missing, like he's just straight up missing, like he's gone, he doesn't exist. The fact that that's like the biggest meme that's going on. I found it. Here we go, y'all. I hope you guys enjoy a voice memo from your boy. I'm gonna go ahead and take a sip from my water while you guys hear my voice from immediately after the game. You can get this content for free if you just join our Discord server. JJ, thank you so much for the Twitch for the follow on Twitch. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Thank you.
You guys expect to get a voice memo out of me after all these Pistons losses? Real quick, the Pistons were horrible for 43 out of the 48 minutes. You can't expect to win a playoff basketball game by just playing well for 5 minutes. They were down 17 at the 8-minute mark in the fourth, and they took the lead. Yeah, they took the lead by 1. 4.5 minutes later, they lost the game. Duren has been incredibly disappointing. He's been very bad. Cade, way too many turnovers. But Cade and Tobias led that fourth quarter comeback offensively. And obviously Ausar did his thing the entire game. Had Ausar not been on the court, we lose by 40, I think. He was the difference maker in every which way. But shout out to Magic, man. Franz Wagner hit those huge shots at the end of the game. Both those tough-ass shots. Hit them both, and then Paulo's shot that hit the rafters also went in. So, I mean, honestly, I'm not that mad over this one just because, like I said, they only played well for 5 minutes. So my hopes were in the gutter for almost the entirety of the game. It's honestly just the fake comeback that pisses me off. But shout out JB for trying Paul Reed. He played really well in the few minutes that he played. And yeah, that's what I got to say.
So that was Jay-Z. That was me immediately after the game. After some more rewatches and some more studying about how that game went. Listen, man, I called it. We all knew the Magic role players would start shooting well when they get home. Desmond Bane played incredibly well. Okay, my biggest issue, and any Miami Heat fans in the crowd, because this was the story of the game. They were attacking Duncan Robinson every time he was on the court. Desmond Bane, you're probably thinking, damn, Ausar's defense sucks. Ausar wasn't really on Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane, I believe he was 1 for 4 when guarded by Ausar. Ausar only guarded 5 of his shots. The issue is Desmond Bane hit 9 of them, 7 from 3. And not having Ausar on Desmond Bane, Reiner, please, is our biggest issue. Reiner, stop. Hey. I just threw my brush outside the room to keep Reiner quiet. He's not even in the hallway. Yeah, that was the biggest issue. Ausar Thompson was absolutely incredible for the Pistons, but the issue is Paolo Banchero had 14 free throws. Wendell Carter Jr., 14 points, 17 rebounds, and I need you to read that big one. He had 8 offensive rebounds. Ladies and gentlemen, what we are watching right now from Jalen Duren has been not a disappointment. It's been an absolute disaster. Guys, Jalen Duren is missing shots like this at the rim. I need people to understand, Jay-Z, why are the Pistons ass? Jay-Z, why are the Pistons losing to the Magic? Jay-Z, are the Magic the better team? Your center, who I have to regurgitate this even more, bro. This is not coming down to Duren simply not performing. Duren is actively hurting his basketball team. You are missing layups. Go watch Jalen Duren lowlights from this game. This is not even his worst miss of the night. It's not even his worst miss. That's the saddest excuse of this. Jalen Duren is being owned not by Nikola Jokic, not by Victor Wembanyama, not by Shaquille O'Neal. He is getting owned by Wendell Carter Jr. And honestly, I thought this was the game right here, that when Cade hit this shot, I thought this was the game. Pistons came all the way back. Cade's got to be better. He only had a good fourth quarter, and that was it. All he had was a good fourth quarter. But Jalen Duren has been absolutely abysmal. And I'm going so far as to say, ladies and gentlemen, that Paul Reed, in his 7 minutes that he played in this game, first minutes of the playoff series, Paul Reed in his first 7 minutes of the series, and his only, were better than what Jalen Duren has done in this entire series. Jalen Duren was looking at a 5-year, $250 million extension. Well, Jalen Duren, where is he? Where is he? That is not Jalen Duren. I don't know what happened. This is not Jalen Duren. The Pistons win this series if Jalen Duren just plays okay. They win this series if he just plays okay. If Jalen Duren plays like Jalen Duren all year, this is a sweep. This is a sweep. My Magic fans can attest that. I hope you guys believe if you're getting 21 and 12 every game from Jalen Duren, the Pistons win every game by double digits. And that's the biggest issue at hand. That's the biggest issue at hand. The Pistons were, and that's the most disappointing thing of all of this. The Pistons are a 60-win team because of the growth of Jalen Duren. Guys, Jalen Duren is not Jalen Duren right now. 8 points, 9 rebounds. Wendell Carter Jr. has outplayed him in every aspect of this series. In every single aspect of this series. He has not been good. In fact, he's not been bad. Jalen Duren has been horrendous. Horrendous. If the Pistons lose tonight, they will then be down 3-1 against the Orlando Magic. Now, where there's cope, there is hope. The last time the Orlando Magic led the Detroit Pistons 3-1, if the Pistons lose tonight, the Detroit Pistons came back and won 3 games straight and beat them in 2003. So where there's cope, there is hope. And that's what I'm clinging to. And that's the thing about this series. The Magic have won almost every single quarter of this series. The Pistons have only played well for 11 minutes in this entire series. They're getting outplayed by the Orlando Magic in every single minute of this series. Like, that's what I need to reiterate. That's what I need to reiterate. The Pistons have only played well for 11 minutes this entire series. Now, I think Locked On Pistons said it best here. I'm going to just go ahead and read this tweet. He said, I don't think people outside of Detroit understand why we're so shocked about Duren, because he wasn't just a lob threat and play finisher. For 25 consecutive games, he was a self-creating on a higher volume and scored at an absurdly efficient level. The fact that not only is he not able to self-create at all, but he's also losing the rebounding battle to Wendell Carter Jr. 17-9. Nobody could have expected this. Nobody could have expected Duren to collapse as much as he has. And that's been the most disappointing aspect of this entire series for the Pistons fans. This guy was averaging over 30 points and 15 rebounds per game when Cade Cunningham was out. This guy was averaging 30 points and 12 rebounds on 76% field goal percentage. He was breaking records that hasn't been touched since Wilt Chamberlain as far as efficiency goes. It's absurd. It's absurd. But I got to give credit where credit is due again to the Orlando Magic. There's not been one player that's beat the Pistons. It's been the whole team. Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner were horrible in game 4. They were horrible. And the Magic won. The Pistons came back from, I think it was 16 or 17 down. It was Cade Cunningham, Ausar Thompson, and Tobias Harris. And Franz Wagner drills a mid-range step back on Cade. And then he hits a dagger 3 that ended the game. Back-to-back plays. They've done it by committee. Paolo Banchero has not been good since game 1. 25 points on 6 for 17 shooting and with 14 free throws as well. Paolo hasn't been good since game 1. Franz has only been good in spurts. And Bane, he just had his first good game now. But they're doing it by committee. When you can get 8 points from Anthony Black off the bench and good defense, when you can get good defense from Jamal Cain and a 3 and a couple shots too, Goga Bitadze getting 2 as well. When you can get this group effort from everybody, Wendell, 14 points, 17 rebounds, 8 of them offensive, 15 points from Jalen Suggs and 3. Like, they are playing so well. Yeah, Paolo had damn near a triple-double in game 3, but do you want me to read his field goal percentage? Paolo has not had a good game since game 1 of this series. He hasn't, and that's not an insult to him. I'm giving you credit right now. The fact that your superstar in quotes, can play like ass, and yet you can still compete and win. And by the way, I think I speak for all Pistons and Magic fans here. I hope you guys agree. I never want to see Tony Brothers officiate another game from this series ever again. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Magic fans don't want to see it. Pistons fans don't want to see it. It's been so bad watching Tony Brothers officiate this game. There's a foul on every single play. Whether it's the Pistons or the Magic, there's a foul on every single play. He even gave the Pistons foul calls that they didn't deserve, but Magic got a lot of foul calls that they didn't deserve too. It was both sides. Yes, the Magic had 9 more free throws than the Pistons, but that's not why the Pistons lost. That's not why. I can blame the refs all I want, but I'm not going to be that kind of Pistons fan. Jalen Duren has been bad. He's been horrible. He's been hurting their team. And I hate to say it, but I gotta give, I hate that this came in a loss, but Ausar Thompson, that was the best game I've ever seen him play in his entire NBA career. Magic fans, do y'all agree with me? He was everywhere. He was doing everything. He had 17 points. He had 8 rebounds. He had 3 assists. He had 5 blocks. He had 2 steals. That's 7 stocks. He was 7 for 10 from the field. He even attempted a corner 3 that looked good. That was the best game I've ever seen Ausar play. And it's a fucking shame that JB Bickerstaff is his head coach. He played 37 minutes, and he's the only reason why the Pistons were in this game to begin with. He was the only guy who gave a damn until Cade in the fourth quarter. Cade had 12 in the fourth. Tobias had 10 in the fourth. Ausar was everywhere. Ausar was doing everything. We lose by 30 without Ausar Thompson. He was the only one that gave a damn that game. And the fact that we just watched all season long JB Bickerstaff neglect his growth is absolutely disgusting. The Pistons are favored by 3.5 tonight. I don't think that means anything. If the Pistons want to have a chance at winning this series against the 8th-seeded Orlando Magic, they have to win tonight. They have to win tonight. If you guys want to watch this game with me, we'll be doing a watch party of it in our Discord server tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. JJ, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. If you guys are enjoying the Twitch stream, you would enjoy the if you guys are enjoying the TikTok stream, you would enjoy the Twitch stream so much more. The link is in my bio, guys. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. I'd love to see you guys come through and watch this game with me tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's the only way you can watch with me and my community and talk with me is my Discord server. The only way you can join the Discord server is by joining the Twitch stream. Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. Should be a good game tonight. And then our final game, a series that we got to talk about is the Thunder are leading 3-0 against the Phoenix Suns. All right, and that's all we got for all the playoff series. I'm sorry, I don't know. Am I supposed to even talk about, right? Can we all agree there's really no, Shai's insane. The Thunder are incredible. The Thunder are the best team in the NBA. Suns suck. Dylan Brooks at 33. Jalen Green at 26, and Devin Booker doesn't want to play basketball anymore. Not with this team. And you know what's insane? Devin Booker's making $75 million next year. Whew. Oh man. All right. Yeah. Thunder's gonna sweep. Right. We all agree. I don't think the Suns are gonna steal the game. This is it. This is the backbreaker. I think the Thunder should finish this series up real quick, 3-0. Guys, stud of the night. Who is my stud of the night? A lot of games happened last night. Do we have any suggestions on who should win stud of the night? Who had your most impressive game last night? There's a lot of options. Rockets, Lakers played. Celtics, 76ers played. Cavs, Toronto played. The Spurs, Blazers played. Do we have any suggestions who should be stud of the night? Well, if your guy isn't white, then you got it wrong. If your guy isn't 6'2" and white, you got it wrong. If your guy didn't drop 32 points last night, then you got it wrong. My stud of the night is fast PP Peyton Pritchard, man. I've preached his name all season long. If Pritchard is dropping this many points off the bench, you have zero chance at winning. You have zero chance at winning. Obviously, I'd go Io, but that game was on Saturday. Stud of last night, not stud of 2 nights. Peyton Pritchard in 35 minutes of play had 32 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, one of them offensive. He was a plus 20 off the bench, 0 turnovers, unlimited step back threes, 12 for 21 from the field and 6 for 12 from 3. Also 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Fast PP. Peyton Pritchard is my stud of the night. Guys, we got some games tonight. I'm not going to talk extensively about them. We just did. Pistons, Orlando. Pistons are favored by 3.5. The game is played in Orlando tonight. If I'm not live tomorrow, I killed myself in game. In GTA, of course, right? In GTA, not in real life. But if you've watched me any long, then you know it's not in GTA. It's in real life. Okay, anyways. Thunder look to close this series out. Is anybody watching this game other than Thunder fans? I don't even think Suns fans are watching this anymore. Thunder are favored by 10.5. And then the final game of the night that I will be asleep after the first quarter for is Timberwolves and Nuggets. Timberwolves up 3-1. Could choke because they've lost Ant and Dante DiVincenzo. Nuggets favored by 10.5. Same spread that the Timberwolves are. Same spread that the Thunder are. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's going to do it for today's show. I said I don't want to go over an hour. And what did we do, chat? What did we do? We went over an hour again, damn it. Podcast listeners, I'm talking to you. Spotify, Apple, YouTube guys. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow, leave a 5-star rating and review. Please. If you're watching in the TikTok, now's the perfect time. Now's the only time to come through to the Twitch stream and join the Discord. We're ending the TikTok. Join the Twitch stream and join the Discord. We're doing a watch party tonight. We're watching the Pistons Magic tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern in my Discord server. Join the Twitch stream. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. I'm going to go ahead and end the TikTok. Link in my bio, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to He's Cheating for sure. To that just followed the Twitch stream. He just left the TikTok and just followed the Twitch stream. Much love. Much love. Much love. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is all I have for y'all today. That's all I have. That's all I have. That's all I got. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I got nothing left to say except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Go Pistons. I don't want to play the damn song again. I want to play our song. Thank you for watching / listening. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning for the podcast at 9 a.m. Eastern. I'll catch y'all tomorrow.